Welcome back, Fragrance Fiend here today with a highly anticipated first impression video. This is a fragrance I've been wanting for so long, I don't even know if it's discontinued at this point. It's actually taken me 2 years to get this one. I negotiated for a pretty good price on eBay, and it's actually never been available on one of the sites I get most of my fragrances. It is Abercrombie and Fitch's Fierce Confidence, released in 2014. I'm yet to open it up, so let's get to it. Thankfully very well packaged as well. So apparently at one point it did come in 50 and 100ml, I'm not too sure how legit that is, but most links I've seen only suggest it's available in 50ml. So unfortunately I do have the newer version which came out in 2019. They did a tiny bit of a cosmetic change, no longer having the torso on the front. And the brand also suggests that the DNA is unchanged as well. That's incredible, barely used. Perfect condition. Batch code appears to be 226A-H. The quality of the cap as well is a million times better as my Fierce, which does feel a little janky. I cannot express how excited I am to smell this. I've been wanting in my collection for well over 2 years now. But first, let's go into the description and note breakdown. Make heads turn as you walk into a room wearing Fierce Confidence, a designer fragrance by Abercrombie and Fitch, a blend of citrus scents like pineapple leaf and tangy lemon, pair with sweet pear and mandarin orange to create a stunning array of tantalizing scents. However, the infusion of white amber, sage and musk truly give this fragrance its masculine headiness, giving men who wear it the ability to leave a lasting impression with anyone passing by. Own the room with this alluring elixir and feel its strong presence give you confidence in your stride. A lot of people actually do say that this is one of the best flankers of Fierce, even some people go as far as to say that it's even better than Fierce. Let's get into it. Awesome, just checking I'm still rolling. Let's go for it. This is magic in a bottle. Wow, what an opening. I'm addicted. Wow. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I was a little worried about this one, especially when my expectations are up here for something. It is literally the Fierce DNA we all know and love, but with a hint of sweetness to it. It's got that pear element, almost reminiscent of Ultramar, except Ultramar just smells very synthetic, even though I love it. It is very over the top and sweet. This is like a more fresher interpretation, but with a Fierce DNA wrapping it all together. I think I've found my new summer scent for 2025. As I've mentioned before, I really like the brand, but I have been very harsh with my criticism when it comes to some of their other scents, but this is an absolute winner. The citrus elements like the lemon, mandarin and orange are giving it a tiny bit of that zestiness. Definitely not too overwhelming. It's balanced so perfectly with that sweet pear. While the pineapple is present, it's definitely not too overbearing. I wouldn't call it anything close to like say a Ventus in terms of that type of pineapple, but there are very subtle hints of an Ventus DNA in there, just a tiny bit. I'm going to quickly look up the batch code to see how old this bottle is. So it actually is from 2019, one of the more fresher bottles when they actually changed the packaging. For my bottle, which is exactly 5 years and 4 days old, it's very intact still. There's no obvious sign of any oxidization, expiration or dullness in the opening. It's still very fresh and it does hit quite hard. So obviously since I have Fierce here, I have to do a tiny bit of a comparison between the two. Let's go for it. Do Fierce on the right and compare it to Confidence. Definitely a clear difference between the two. Fierce obviously having quite an aquatic sea breeze nature, a tiny bit sea salty almost. There's a lot going on in Fierce. Whereas Confidence is actually a little more subdued in contrast, still as potent but not as aggressive in the opening. I think this is actually a little more smoother in contrast being Fierce Confidence. The pear and pineapple obviously adding that sweet element to it, even the sage is quite prominent as well. And now that the two are beginning to dry down, there is a very small crossroads between them where there is a hint of similarity as they do dry down quite musky and ambery. Confidence obviously being the sweeter of the two, this is definitely your day, your night scent. So even though Confidence does have an incredible opening that realistically only lasts about 5 minutes, as you would expect from an eau de cologne based fragrance. Thankfully, as it's developing, it's still quite present, but I slowly feel the projection beginning to fade away. I definitely want to test this one quite thoroughly before editing the video in a few weeks, so I can give it a really proper analysis of the actual dry down. That's why I always recommend watching to the very end of my videos or just skipping to the end of my videos to see the most up-to-date current ranking of how I feel about the fragrance, because obviously there's a bit of time before I film and edit my videos. I think those who grew up with Fierce and kind of forgot about the brand, this is a really good alternative if you want to still capture a tiny bit of that Fierce DNA and add a bit more sweetness to the mix. It's a bit more contemporary, I'd say, even though the DNA of Fierce is timeless. As I mentioned earlier, I believe I said something along the lines of this being my signature scent of 2025 summer. Yeah, even though it's quite a sweet fragrance, it's definitely wearable in, I'd say, humidity, but I'm going to put that to the test as well. In fact, I may even make an update video by next year and see how I still feel about it. But as of right now, it's actually winter in Australia, and as I speak, there's a storm outside, so it will actually be quite interesting to test it in this climate as well. It's quite ironic when the original Fierce came out, a lot of people said it smelled like a teenage boy's locker room, and now a lot of people actually say that it smells like a very masculine men's type of scent. It's definitely a safe gym scent, very casual, clean. You even get away with wearing this one at the office, it's not going to cause that much of a stir as the marketing suggests, but the impression definitely gives off a very clean, well-groomed masculine male. It gives off that fresh out of the shower type of vibe, but without the soapiness. There's so many musks which I find just so soapy, which I hate. This is just a very simple, clean, light musk. And let's just capture that opening once more in case I've missed anything. I'm not going to risk throwing this bottle in the air like I do with a lot of them. You can definitely tell they use a high-quality perfumer's-grade alcohol as well, because you don't get that aggressive alcoholic burst of cheapness in the opening. I think this is where the price kind of justifies it a little more, because they are using better materials than most other eau de colognes, which are obviously more affordable. So if you haven't already, be sure to check this one out. I don't know where you're going to buy it. If you're from the US, please let me know if this is in your local Abercrombie and Fitch. I'd really love to know, and that you'll still be able to buy it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this one. It's been a lot of fun getting my nose on this after such a long time. Be sure to tune in next week, there's a lot more fun on the way. I'll see you next time.